Met me, I can kind of pono at the amount of nafi, my bad my bed before Eddie Wan. National Economic Forum, May 12 to 15, 2014, the Senchi Consensus, and from May 12 to 15, 2014, 140 Ghanaians drawn from organized labor, Ghanaian private sector, professional associations, financial institutions, security services, traditional leaders, political parties, parliamentarians, the clergy, policy think tanks, academia, civil society, and government ministries met in Senchi in the spirit of our shared interests and commitments for building a national consensus for economic and social transformation, as well as our collective pursuit of inclusive and sustainable development. We, the participants, further agreed on the following. 1. That the directive principles of state policy, Chapter 6 of the 1992 Constitution, must be continued to guide the national development effort, anchored in a long-term national development framework with a compelling vision. 2. The long-term national interest should supersede all other interests. 3. That the state that encourages and promotes indigenous entrepreneurship and continues to execute projects and programs commenced by the previous government. Foster a state whose day-to-day management is supported by a professionally competent civil service working in an environment devoid of political victimization and intimidation, where support for the government is not interpreted as political affiliation. 5. It is imperative to strengthen the Public Accounts and Finance Committees of Parliament to play their oversight responsibilities more effectively. 6. That a mechanism to effectively monitor, evaluate, and reform the use of statutory funds transferred to public sector institutions such as the Disassembly Common Fund, National Health Insurance Authority, Ghana Education Trust Fund, GET Fund, must be established. And 7, that government should establish a one-stop shop for investment, electronic templates to simplify business processes, streamline the activities of the Ghana Export Promotion Council, Ghana Investment Promotion Council, and Free Zones Board. 8. The Ministry of Finance should, as a matter of urgency, review the targets set in 2014 budget. The review must identify likely deviations and make proposals for plugging the resultant financial gap, while the Bank of Ghana traces the implications of revisions for monetary policy. 9. That a mechanism must establish to realign the budget whenever the economy is affected by unanticipated shocks. 10. Government must strengthen the regulatory authorities to protect consumers and ensure the enforcement of standards. 11. Further steps must be taken to support small, medium enterprises in order to protect jobs. 12. That further efforts must be made to improve the efficiency of tax collection as well as broaden the tax base and reduce recourse to introduction of new taxes. And 13. The Bank of Ghana should expedite work on the assessment of the recently announced foreign exchange measures and take speedy and appropriate action to restore confidence and relieve the unintended consequences of the measure. 14. Consideration should be given to the amendment of the Bank of Ghana Act to set a ceiling on its lending to government that is based on government's revenue collection in the previous year, rather than the current year, as is currently the case. 15. An investment program to deal with the energy crisis must be put in place as a matter of urgency in order to propel growth, employment, competitiveness, and macroeconomic stability. 16. The government must take steps to revamp the manufacturing and agriculture sectors to encourage domestic production. 17. Ghana needs accelerated implementation of a current plan to develop the interbank foreign exchange and money markets to ensure active primary and secondary training. 18. For the purposes of encouraging high national productivity, government, labor, and the private sector must collaborate to institute a management and labor productivity crusade, including the introduction of a service charter that ensures that productivity is matched with remuneration. 19. Take steps to develop long-term financing instruments to minimize reliance on short-term financing. 20. That a clear and simplified policy framework to grow and migrate the informal sectors into the formal is urgently required, as such steps must be taken to simplify business registration process, non-mandatory SNIT contribution up to a minimum number of employees by informal sector operators. And we, your fellow Ghanaians recognize that socio-economic development is a journey, not a destination. As such, efforts to build a national consensus and long-term plan must also take the mode of a journey. We therefore recommend that the National Economic Forum be institutionalized and that a committee to be established to explore various options and models for undertaking this process. And finally, 22, government must take steps to galvanize consensus around other issues of national importance, especially with respect to political governance, nation-building matters, and should initiate a process of involving citizens whose experience, insight, and expertise will enhance economic policy management and national governance. So that's what it is, 22 points. A full and detailed report of the proceedings will be made available within few weeks. And it's by courtesy, Senche, consensus, Royal Senche, a power, almost see, you know, I want some Anna, Eddie Atuja, Edama, lucky about 4, Edama, Samude, a person, every other pay. Who do I need a year in Pessoa Asama Basso, according to the Enquire, the Obokata, Dade Kotopon, Machine Virginia, Ujina, this year, on a name, Machine Virginia. Name for ni Amasa Namwale, Abekan, Aquaba, Marching so, Boko dear, Boko Yaminado, Edamiasi. Sa Pepe Kujina, Eastern Region, so second vice chairman, my Eastern Region, MP Piamanyukuno. Nana Fredua Ajiman, Ofori Ata, Nana Arapewanima, Marching, Boko dear, Party Muboko. Papa B. All right. But all my mission quickly is as soon as I pay. A year, constituency name say a year the Obokata could make 50 months this year. It's about borehole mutua, Nebuono, and Nebukuma na Oshe Buona, I did 2 borehole now, a Hunse and Sema, a idea, a hard drink a crack. The New Statesman, and Edisa is saying about it. Increasing rate on national coffers. NDC blows over 38,000 Ghana cedi on 1 borehole. FNA chairman sacked for fighting malfeasance. And the air change and say, that they could to form Honor.
Oh, won't say. You see, FNA chairman sack
for fighting malfeasance.
Where is the evidence that he started fighting malfeasance? Did he write a letter to the chief executive? Did he write a letter to the council? Did he write a letter to anybody saying that there are these flaws? Did he do that? Or when he was removed, before he got to know that, there was this thing that I'm trying to fight, he should have brought the evidence. Osi borehole ekosu say you are giving the impression say borehole na si on in the core yes ano. Why don't you send report to whoever that you whatever set up a report to no munko hwe say a borehole look can see on man say there are other additional things some you are comparing borehole that was done by the national security and the borehole that has been done by the assembly that went through the procurement process. National security dey no kwa enu ball no kwa sioma ye we say and we say o my ball aye reservoir and so be komu ansa na we nyina me ka we say na ye ka sanse we say normally I am person me do because I'm the MP of that area but me say we are all against sikadie nya dade enti say odi bi say bibi akoso a enye no kwan mu a report to the authorities. Audit for Honor, that's right. So the normal process, you do catastrophic prayer. You to family out, but only na mature and our church letters. And now he says, me always say they should bring the evidence for those who are in charge. I say, they should work on it.
But he has raised a lot of issues. So there are other issues.
Is it a newspaper that you have to raise the issue? Write it to the appropriate content that those who do the matter appropriately. Should come bia omudi asem no ombedi ibe pese mu. Wanna mention no. Appeal to some people, petition some people, Our officers are petitions and go for us. I never put on a if you are writing in paper, then you are speculating. For evidence, they are say, and yet we say no. Appeal to a minister for local government, say, oh, Sikadio is about me, say, and I appeal to the president, and I appeal to the chief of staff, and I appeal to the regional minister. That's and what's an American. So when we say Obia Bonibia, sure.
National security for Bohun is 6,000 Ghana cedi. And Amodia and Amodia can hold 38,000 Ghana cedi.
Let people investigate because whatever that I say here, whatever the assembly.
But you are an honorable member, so
yes,
you can't put out
whatever that I will say here, they will still not listen. I'm advising them to take it to the appropriate quarters. And yet, take it to the appropriate quarters. Take it to the appropriate quarters. That's all what I'm saying. So we have a chrono. Call police station, call report to. The I want to be unu kreno. Now, obviously, unu krepa. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. So, did they pass through the procurement? Again, the buyer and sana. A coba sana se koise. Ne akoshe expert to hormone. Ghana Institute of Engineers. So I'm about to say, so I deal with say no cost no. Ni komo na senye ni kwemu. Oh, that's all what I'm saying. And then upese utunia masana mualinti. Who speculate? Don't speculate. That the people know what the truth is. Don't speculate. Me penya ye ko akoye forensic auditing. Engineer. No, just say I said I make say. Ubeso tu nia masana mualinti. You are resorting to speculation and writing the newspapers. And what we nya? Ni say. Ube track my regional minister. Now do unsem no.
They did dance
say up to the name. No, on also investigation. And now minister for local government. Would want them for to the name. So say them here FNA chairman no. Say na me hu ye. What am I saying? In September na hu ye no. One can want them bia computer me two ade so. You see, this is some of the things I am making. Go to the appropriate quarters. Obia. You have to confirm police station de loko. Unu ga so ubu confirm kunu. What am I saying? So I confirm pa Fanuko police station. Police profession na ko jira court. Na judge I there ebura no. The process is there.
So as we speak now, FNA more energy.
Energy. The only thing is there were some changes that were doing or a government appointee. There were some changes that were going on, and the changes remove him and replace him. And he says he doesn't understand that he was trying to fight some office and you know. It is not true. Oh, I don't call you. Have you gone to ask them? When I'm nominating them, call
is it much in the coin?
We have government appointee. In conforming the EU, I recommend you not on call. One of the president approve here. Sankofona, I recommend you say you inferior. Go to them and ask them. You haven't asked the constituency chairman, you haven't asked your MP, you haven't asked the constituency, you haven't come to the constituency executives, the constituency executive write to you, you don't come. How would the people be solved? So I'm not concerned. Oh, Busa no say. Wako Busa, tell me no corner. Obe Busa and I can so one do corner. Wako Busa niente you said government appointee. You are not the only one that has been removed as government appointee all over Accra. What one am I saying? I didn't say. So first say, a new thing you are. Found some Ekoma regional minister, and I say minister for local government. Not to call police station.
Okay.
Echo report.
Okay.
And your papers, we don't fight in the papers with speculations.
Okay.
Take the truth to the appropriate quarters for investigation to be initiated.
All right. Nana Fredo Ajman Furata Nana. Urubina Kenya na semu wana efagana wonti.
Fire ho papa. P keke.
Okay.
Dedika yesika.
Dedika ni yesika.
Yesika. Neto so mienu. Amamu ho asem. District Assembly, for me, my assemblyman da, my appointee da. As far as I'm concerned, assembly is a very, very powerful institution. Na yayama, yemu, as a small for being able to go. But Angiania Brepa, District Assembly should be taken very seriously. One of the Niaman Quebec one say, a better sa pressure na call MP for so. Say na na see quite now because said to me, na assembly for there. But here the politics room, be na bay. And I'm in penny. That's maybe a penny. Me pay more, but Bruni is a rhetorical question. Eya dena say you appointing no your man position no oye na djuma. Eya dena obi tie chire na yi ni free honoma onko bi so bi ansa
How does that work? Yeah, why is that? Because, but you know, you assembly hono structure na senate no yompo politics no enema ebia obi bedi DC. But the workings of it must not be partisan. So you appoint to sebra ura mu hono afi o ye wadwuma. Nti ere na afi ne enko consult you bi ne odo bae. Whom you know the idea to Mangwana.
Who you see a coin or party
no. Semekaya, oppressor Kunyanibi. Empino. Unless I've got the wrong person. I'm a primary resource or something. Because now they post up at a certain time. In Kaiser MP no pre-primary resource. Assembly member no pre. I don't know, but not pre-BB. Unless I've mixed the name, because Katino there, I know the last name Katino, and I believe the person that I'm referring to is Titi Katino. That's when who approach somewhere I call so honum nasa or can. Apparently, the kind newspaper, we rely on newspapers. Into me, I'm one, you say, I don't know, people. Ebia, or can in some no BNT.
Oti ona was ya tron krata tonsa frena tron krat atonsa frena oma
no asa make can say o asem say bia prayer bi we sia you have to take it to appropriate quarters
because what true o see
because say on fan call the appropriate quarters I didn't even know say there's something of this sort until he has been removed from the assembly and no I can say because me kusa prayer
and
it is not true.
But why would he be removed from the assembly?
It is not because the constitution allows it.
Okay.
But now, ultimately, can say President Kufuor government appointee.
That's an irrelevant
point.
No,
I have to make that.
That is a totally irrelevant point.
I have to make that.
It has no relevance in this situation.
It has big relevance.
It is not a factor.
It has big relevance.
It is not a factor.
It has big relevance. It has big relevance because in his submission, he was doing politics to say, it is wrong. And I'm just saying, even President Kufuor, some of the government appointees. And when you have government appointees, I
never declared here say it was wrong.
I questioned it. I am a politician.
There's a difference.
So we are talking to Ghanaians. So when you question something and Nia Masana Wale keeps quiet, that is I've agreed to what you are saying.
Not necessarily. It's my turn to speak. And I want to
interrupt. Politician, so
it's my turn to speak. And I want to interrupt.
You see, Nyansani eto gen Arua, eko red Nyansani kutuku. Nyokano metiase pa. Changing of an assembly member, government appointee assembly member is no crime. The constitution allows it.
All right,
and they have done it before. So you shouldn't portray say it has never been done in the history of Ghana before. Reason different from reason. But where he says because it's of politics, he's mistaken.
All right, Nana, what
no, but well, more because be a politics one because you see Nipakron wa preda. And as a proposed bidder. You refer to the fact that he might be interested in
MPC. See, I have never said that.
I said, if you are interested in
what does that mean? What does it mean?
I never said. I said, if you want me change, I mean, can't you? The person is interested in my position. I never said that.
I say anything.
If you want me come as a but it's a bigger issue. I never mentioned say it was the issue. I never mentioned his name. I never mentioned his name.
We're dealing with a serious matter here. Yeah, a prayer semokoso. And no be a yin who see Jose Mekon. I say Martinamidu near Tata. ebi na esi why NDC
na wana tata no se se wo asem na se asem ne nye papa fa kwa asoye anaze bia ye betimi ahwani ama no kura na dedi emfa wo nsem ntutu de obo katem eno mmoa ma se
so who's to say on vangoy
what is the evidence?
That's the question.
I'm telling you, you're not taking it. You're not taking it. You're biased.
Your credibility is on the line on this matter. You're biased. Your credibility on this matter is on the line. What I'm saying, you have an interest opposite to his. Into no can say my to me holy. With all due respect to you, into no until we have clear evidence. Say on yes, we cannot also take your word for it. Now, asem ne da ono so sikasem. Ena sikasem ayeken. Oman sika. Ensem o peje kakra bi ametumi ahwem kra no. Borehole sem abam sika yedi twetua nkofo. And these things are not unusual. Ekoso baby pi mnemre ya yeti hei. This if one hwanhwafo ebinu ye yi won to still la wan titi baby a wan ti. Empanimfo ne won ho hwe. Na se montam obi etu ne ho asi ho se on de obedi no kra wo mu. Na se ye nhwe nka ye pray yi na fi so I'm telling you say ne mfa so ne sense ye refer orakofo emre so. Adom Rollins mre so e. Ora Mills mre so e. Is that the concern? Na se ekoso samre na entwaso. Is that how we want to leave our legacies? Say ye koye nima ene boni am minyonko ye menso minye bie. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Intino me di kind say asema wa no e sikasem. That's the first most important thing. Ansa na nipadia no ni dibia ene niama. Na say na dibia me say it is not normal. Say oh assembly near you in the term of the assembly. Near you free ho. It is not normal. See a UF post biso. Titu so we chairman. Maybe sir. Say bibi wo mana. Na ye you so this work will be sanko for boa me do buy.
And then she said assembly need you man na ebitimi
ehwe do a survey of even 3 assemblies. And one history now they are serving. Na say ye tayi ni pa free ho sa. It is not normal. It is questionable. Sanyam, but the bottom line is that appropriation koswana. Appropriation koswana because you who say emre kakriya yumi appropriation akasiye. Look, yeah, before we went into the 2012 election, I said back when I metaya kapa na mi pejapa adansi for schools. Yeah, na MTN and na me dey enfaton because no one see school dying 84,000 cedis I believe was the figure. Assembly for be refi assembly in the asantimemo. When go see school 300 and something thousand for the same facilities, classroom dog, toilet facility. Head and neighbor, and no be na papa ne complain why. Say it is all in a particular period. And this is form reso. And I know so you know what you say oh can. Yes me
national security for borehole, no to borehole we are we know or the reservoir and the car can win our
and I born all question.
Where did you
all questions? All questions. Maybe then me can say oh you're right oh, but who's to say that the other side is also right? As you see who interest the womb and I then ye pray a yinedi. I then ye pray a yinedi. Ye yinedi you and you say ya shuffle. Assembly for ye shuffle. Ye yinedi. And that's the question. As you see any brain as a country, any pa Ghana for, as you see any brace animal, as you see any course animal, same point to beba. May come MP4 because Sadia na idea MP4 no and yet across board NDC, NPP, CPP, and found MP4 no. Their job is not to go and construct roads. And you want to no. And you want the best me a fellow pothole. Ogata nye clean and ye MP adwuma no. A assembly member for na see mamo. It is a assembly go year. As some money breho. Na ye hwe ne ekoso. So born ye the assembly member for no when you go assembly. Na adwuma ba am yaye. Obola ye mfa e bisa assembly. Inti those are the issues. Inti sasemi abe we should take it when in politics abemo and also ye be after all MPP your interest. I know they mean fancy.
All right.
But the more important point and say ye Ghana fusika.
Okay.
Okay,
all right. Okabola, I remember them. Okabola, say quickly. Dome Pillar 1, Pillar 2, Parco Estate. Dome Gym. Yes, mo amofa ball a ho no. Kona wotwini afi ho so ebunkama faso Madaroma. Yes, mo hu ye mobo na mo bachi utwam a estate mo honom na ofa Pillar 1 Pillar ball a ashas yesu e wa amanfo fie anim no. Madaroma. Mo a ya allocate ho na mamu no mo ni dwuma man na yes, mo ho ntini enda ho fine emai. All right. Oh.
The strategy of shooting the messenger and destroying the messenger, normally, I don't sanction it. I have no credibility. So, never should you pair me with anybody who doesn't believe I have credibility.
No,
Pacho,
baby, you are the work of too far. Uti, that's what kind or say, when you are, or Cyril. At the Udi Kakas, or say, when you are. Osrew enye se de wo kano onyu ndum so ye no kwafo na emom esan se won so ohuwom bi nintino e den se ontie fa ba ko na aka na obagiwatum entirely nothing on your credibility and integrity kwabna sante omanyi kwabna sante
omanyi kwabna sante
so memo bia emfo ani mutu
omanyi kwabra asante
ona pajometi o
he's a royal onim kasa meso nkranfo se ntwenche
oti asem no
enti so obi to arrow minikutuku kumu ayoko I have no credibility. I wrote it down. I have nobody will take my word. So whatever that I say here, nobody will take my word.
So here is a platform.
So
on
you
this platform.
go back and play.
On this platform.
Go back and play.
Maybe
you did not understand. Maybe. I'm not sure you did not understand. Maybe. But I understood perfectly well. I'm saying that whatever the speculation that is going on there, whoever has got document that will prove, say, press the appropriate quarters. Give us the evidence. Paper here can you get some evidence about so or try let us say echo say Yanfino or you say Yanfino. You only started raising red flag when you have been removed from the assembly, not because of not you alone, but it was something that happened all over Greater Accra. All I'm saying no. When you have been removed, who certificate has for the appropriate quarters? May I support say you bear forensic auditing, investigation. None near why born no, you punish no. But if somebody can say, and I'm trying to stop misinformation that you are trying to give to the public, you tell me I don't have credibility. I don't want to be with you on any platform. I will continue with this one when we finish. But never should you play me.
But
never should you play me with anybody who doesn't believe I have credibility.
But my situation is that other guests me in danger or more credibility and integrity. Messi, when you must say medical culture, meaning say ufria himfi no kwa no obebu anim tiasa. The all kind of message you actually say.
Osa maybe yakwa.
Osa odika
say maybe yakwa say ohini kasa akwa no onya no. The only thing I don't have credibility. So when he's saying it, you know, I got it, and I'm telling him, say, I don't have credibility. If you make I'm saying it for viewers
for the record, but
for him I don't have credibility.
For the record, say the beya obi nka say obu anintia no, wa mu anintia. Opa ocho say nipa no kra ye ka no asem no. Wadaroma oniha. Inti on gina on show.
Did I mention any names?
No, said Nipa specifically or the report.
He was mentioning name. I was saying, so whoever is having this thing should take it to the appropriate
place. But
you
never touched on the integrity and credibility. Mr. Wadaroma.
I have to take my word. You said they have to.
All right.
One of the things I don't do is what the Honorable is accusing me of. Nasena dream. Me panacho because send your kind of sana mekano, and I'm repeating say I will not come and sit here. Apart from me no or no me, but me no me tieno. What the minister that
who tells I don't know you?
What the minister?
I'm a Florida boy.
What the minister?
I went to school with Penny. I'm an Achieva worker boy. I'm a Florida boy. So don't tell me I don't know you. I know you very well. Minimum pa. But
the say be a una unim no. I want to you.
Me no. The make sense. Me dey say but you say but we don't attack personality. You don't try to watch the personality to the people. Miss Matran you take that. O man ni kwaku boatin anyi ti Matran mo da. I stayed there. Even though I'm young, I stayed there.
Okay.
Before that, so that you know, it's
so big.
Which means I can't know.
Quickly, you quite a
me say a panic or no, my main
1760. Now the text message that bray now eti kind amount it ni amasa namwale MP that they kotopon or another Fredo Ajima for second vice chair Eastern Region MPP he didn't come on quickly Royal Senchi the assurance by His Excellency John Dramani the assurance from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama or say Senchi consensus will urgently be implemented. The road to Senchi and then after what no Nantiemo Kakra or Monamalia in
Semi Abba Senchi on na Emidep say it me Ako National Economic Forum Abba Omudom communicate no Abba I say yeah bomb na see President Temasho say Rombo so be implementing na me asema ko hame and I say me that dwene ho hifo na eba be implement this idea no is it going to be on our shelves so we course it we no one when ye di adwuma no we ehye we nsa edi we hye who are the implementers a bit say you see then improving tax collection and the broadening of the tax net. Internal Ghana Revenue Authority for Yaka improving tax collection. A problem ka CB or Ghana Asia Hama Bian and a DB so a coso Hama dream. Just go to Su police station. Toba do almo. Oko transina se udidi. Every go to Kumkra 10 Ghana cedis. People see the 50 Ghana, 100 Ghana. They don't pay VAT. They don't pay anything. Say they don't issue VAT receipts. Airport. About to come on and say, when you do fee, open Tewa could do as of Ukudia. Restaurant do almost. Udidi, Echiaka, Esoroko, no VAT receipts. So many restaurants in Ghana in Accra here. I say, Umutia VAT, say 3% to 17.5% too. One of my channel. Omuntia. It is me busa me who say Ghana Revenue Authority e die na omo VAT for commission no e die na oye at least who need VAT task force bia obi be no why say okako transfer didi odidi wi a no receipt. I was even thinking people say I quite remember my father's time kwame kuma or baby kwame kuma ba no so beto osma me to budo e ma no one am chero say president probably be sorry atran de kemu etu akoro no asma akola bi say o to ade wo store mu mame otoba no receipt no agada say nema nyina ana say VAT penyi no wagada we say nyina na de ma onkrofo ma form task force bi say ba be call round and make sure say every Ghanaian is paid minia sika okromo anu say anka ye gie tax a ehun nyampo say koji loans ni grant ifi amanoni won na me che no eti say people ade so mutua omutua we don't have any problem. Example la de kotopo yenya municipal assembly once in one cent for around there take no me che mpuntu djuma mu de ye no ti say me won akra eti imagine say VAT for only VAT alone omu ye omo djuma yie e make sure say every VAT register obi o register VAT and I say obi ese register VAT to register as can kitin cash machine baby I so use cash machine omu use and about what you know that we have better target it is broadening the tax broadening the tax collection improving the tax collection and we ya pass it broadening the tax net
but assembly say are they okay enya we are from Brian nya found the Rollins in Preso throughout to President Kufo we remember the late Professor Mills Abiremu current President John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. I'm sure we know Kwaba Tina said in Koma, Yina Yahu, Sintoa, Titu Abaya Tua, Yajimukwana, Tokura did demo. Yaka over the period, say Yenim Yayadi, Yanko and your diagnosis, you had the name a drone, a day, my say, you had the called intimate. Another talk shop, almost.
And I'm just say, who is going to implement it? Who is going to implement it? And I say, I take it back to pay. And the man say, you have to think outside the box. In particular, the OCC, and your president will be implemented. But you have to think outside the box. As a Jenny said, and then what could office, and everybody say, but penny not the office or science or science. And they are Jenny, the directors want to say, and they are Jenny, let's think outside the box. And let's take things that people are suggesting, say, yeah, you between you say, as more task force, we call around and I'm going to tell man that this kind of bremo. More than moon call us and call this kind of. Oh, wait a minute, I have me. I said, you call a forum, not a dinner, say, yeah. People don't think outside the box to implement this communique and then see a guy. I could say scapa. And last one, President, I say National Economic Forum. No, I will see it should be institutionalized. I don't know on Yaji. What NDPC, National Development Planning Commission. Omodumani saying, Sadi will say, Omo Nkeso, Omoye. Sadi will say, Omoya institutionalized zone. In Jensanya, another National Economic Forum institutionalized will be one. I know them no on Yaji. All right. NDPC. Omo relevance. Oh, Ghana, I will say. All right, don't know regarding Pinana.
Oh, my, so many Yakasadi. Many Yakasa. That's it. Near the kind, me person honorable yarding. Our NDPC as no kind. Which also raises the fact, say, let's just say, Habana Muna, something went wrong. So, yet, pa. One time, Ebinum Jina, Ebinum vice president, organizing Nadia, and Ebinum a organization, crown, Uncle Ye, Ekaho, and letters to me back 6-7 days late, 2 days before event. You would organize it. One time, I'm telling you for a fact, men can't momitrim and as a bombisri maka. And your honorable counsel is even evidence of that.
But the letter was signed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The proposal was done by the Vice President.
Trust me. The internal wranglings of NDC problems are internally, no. See it. And I refuse President Namu to Nenum Tuesday, or as a tekbe, a man for see yin frio. M3, Alote Jacobs, a big bedroom can see yin frio. Nasalote Jacobs, Bijana on Mokasa, who was on the 9 CB. And you will be in the double vision and I say, it is no kind of defiant of the president. There's something wrong. Now, we will be put into BB. Honorable Asamoka, Media Masuma, I agree with him. Say, Pasanka, Yepanka, NDPC, and you see, if they had organized it, I'm say, maybe and send me be a bepano, a buyer, no, came up. Yeah, near the guy. Saturday organization, MPP, kwa yankono, media me fuaso, me dempeni fuase. Nanke mwaye. Because, you can't say, one fan say, MPP for neka, you refuse MPP for, we're Ghanaians before. Ghana for, MPP for, ye Ghana for, and son, ye MPP for. And I am penning for, na ye power, one kasama ye, no. One kama Ghana for. Just as we are hoping and assuming, say, and this impending for kama Ghana for. Sometimes you wonder, but we hope so. Intino a true impendence will be as I say, Adriana air to a toyable. Nakasabi enko free impending for be desirina. It is no man say MPP for any ideas. Embra Uraba Miakasa, and again, yan to Amono. Nanaku for the waka and simply or the two that is you to me say near to Abono. Ura, I could toss a no, I went to Parliament. And then Wanka. It be a purpose answer me. Uraba me answer me, be a purpose answer me. Into the young corner, and say, if we are seeing also, maybe near the guy, see a coil, see uncle, a babonk of Abaso, one cosum, me buana. And yet, Uncle Coin, one NDC for anymore, one NDC for one cosum, you who ye. So to Nabase, so to say, and Faho, or the night in Yako to him. Minty Bechra on Yako, it's a good thing. One about one cancel, ye be tea. Ye tea muno, then one day to ja. Now, me kind graphic nature, you kind a kakra. Kakra me ma pekini. Yes, if we once it continue to execute previous government projects, That's a failure on the part of the NDC government. Immediately, when T1 marks first problem, because anka otwasa anyama so a ebia neme bi ma na mobile no na mo de cars etat mo jijiji nkrofo cars maya man nkrofo close schools your business. That's what you were interested in. Continuing projects mo eja ho. Na mo dey say you want to expose say ebia nipa ni diska. Want to me expose no major project no ho na mo pese mo start fufuro.
Say kwesibo twi ka so that thing must stop.
Thank you. Now why should they be told this in their second term after previous terms? NDC for kan wa amamu emre no boma is over 23 years in Ghana. I want NDC PNDC same business. Aden yenim. Ukaboma over 23 years. Why should this language come out of anybody's mouth at this time? Yenye.
Afini eni abaye ho so.
Aden na afini eni abaye ho so. Ura mills ye di Franka ne share ne sano. Sasada ne ye wo akola bi ene akola ne di 6 me bwana. Open 6 me bwa. 5 or 6. So what are we talking about? It's human lives. Uko di abemo enye experiment o. As a metestiare. Uko di abemo enye experiment. Enye school ko. Inti eno so si hwe ni. So that's the first failure may identify. And it's a good year when you hear. Let us also say long-term national interest. When we be they should have a long-term national interest. And no, I always query say NDC for ya only yema ubisa say. So I know you drink Ghana wana. It's a failure of vision. And the evidence no edaho only ye edaho ema ubisa say nana mo drink Ghana wana. Even this event, we drink in some ora ba we anon kai abepui ha. Na ewie echire no adapa etwa mom no ndi hia yen. Na no we drink Ghana wana. No we drink Ghana wana. Tax some aye kan. Ora ba redu no den no anye. Did they continue when they came into office? Did they continue when they came into office? So it makes you ask that question. Say long term no way with him. Adia bakos will be put a competent civil service.
Void of partisanship.
Thank you. Already I've been sribo baby will be a yaminshra. When you're baby call. Only to the chief the director your friend saying finance ministry. Doing a good job. Ubisa ministry I won't be catch because they assume say or your MPP. They took him out. That is a problem, and even greater problem. And they say, public sector reform ministry no raku for the buy. One any department. It is a shrinking encourage. It would so ukomwa public sector reform ministry ukomwa. Eya unya kwanya me consultancy kakra ho. Inti na ma me hu. But upe the details of what it was targeting to do. Eya fre ura Adom ne bisano. If the NDC government had taken that ministry serious, because of the lack of vision for this country, an understanding of thinking long term for Ghana, they didn't take time out. So when Beshe said public sector reform ministry, the first one is saying, today it is coming up. Another one, reference to directive principles of state policy. Who say woman NPP for your born when she said one from Ranyetuma? NDC for. Who say woman you can't say they don't respect the constitution. It has come up in this form with diplomatic language. Benvona on the American mean for party tags and Kobobia. Ashesi chancellor I say mean to mean for party B tag and Kobono, meaning party or Tonaba. But the issue is, were you looking at Ghana directive principles when you were deciding some things? What? Well, and also it tallies with some long-term thinking argument. So when you don't consider all those factors, now all the year one fine year where you only Ghana for. That's a fact. And Kabontin Kobisa, se nieme ko yama Ghana for ana. Yes, ya bonti. You say my own media. I don't do my MPP for once, because as far as I'm concerned, MPP for Ghana. And I'm referring to Ghana.
You see,
who you sure says Sakasa and Nessisiaka?
No,
Because Nessadia and she who knew first what. See, a can Sadia, and there's nothing that has value for anything.
So, Anna, what Bria, and Moya Diamna Brosso. It in a person, Bribia Mocasa, who here no.
Uncle Susua, now picture some, but I am community to them, Mr. And who here no. What is that level? And can rate 1 to 10 near. And here any Hochena, your woman says, weight here 1 year low weight, 10 year high weight, and can here not the better. Oh, so maybe say more dear man, Abram say, a idea set your free, and who hear my qua, which abro so one now. Because as far as I'm concerned, that's why until I make us say, and it isn't regular. As some of these as an hour, maybe and then this one and say, I won't come up. Oh, and go there will be a children. Oh, it's sanity. But it isn't the case. Dan Aukoto, your friends say, Broadwa, wait no sutina price no cost in a very short period. Nkola have identified, said when Dokon size swati, or Kotonza Caprena Nema Medeman, yes, on Fabako Meka. Nkola have identified that. Mamu Station, Joy FM, and the Kofan Kola, and the knee Bissipisa on them. Just to see what they understand about. And Muna Sanko Moibi and Amity. And yes, me boom is remarkable. And if you go into town, people know. Because I was saying they want 10 cities now. Okay, top petrol. You buy any Kufuama petrol box. Now, when you buy petrol, 10 cities and talk along.
And maybe to the man.
Yes, you see, to media will never stop doing politics because it is a matter of how you choose. Or choices, and a trebi a bepakopi. You see, foreign exchange is it's one of the identified foreign number 13. IMF also one pages has no one. Your forex is some so called Macola, Ebisa Mano, on a cranium mammy in your bito. Yebisao. Society foreign exchange management is
the Bank of Ghana should expedite work on the assessment of the recently announced foreign exchange measures and take speedy and appropriate action to restore confidence and relieve the unintended consequences of the measure.
Yes. Unintended consequences. I didn't be a beer. Go say, men I'm saying penny for no on one day in penny casa call you. Unintended consequences. So some way and Ebiana and yes, I do when I'm a baby priest and I could please her. Yen so the penny for we can send Yamu is an ebecon, so no more. Yin tubia near the year. And only I am a Fonswaka. Nagana fona ye breno, ye can't yin tiu. Ghana fona a cotto a dear tone. A crab dear ba. No, I would to me all can yin tea. Inti one ye betty in was uncle. Another issue. A no say no. A deba call Rabuchi Kaya Okano once, but as I said to us, or says our situation, I am a businessman, Ghana. As I see it, it is a serious comment on the government. Very serious comment on the government. This is one thing. No, I can't. Here, last one, because we see friends, record, because I'm Kamaikan. It is going into statement and you're true, baby, according to graphic report, I say encourage indigenous entrepreneurship. Mine. And yet, big am I buying? Because it means, and for me, according to I have Brewo Ghana, it is the primary reason. Me Tata Ghana for, baby, MPP Ninti. We are making me Juma me Grana, I brought for something which is there. I could be all. It is, as far as I'm concerned, media. Nshemo mpanimfo hyiamu won di nokre atre NDC aban na se president was someone na so no asomu enra anadwo ne adum light me fie ewi ase no and the person is Shuma. Now making because there are thousands of Ghanaians who are listening to us and they're suffering the same thing. And I'm one mammy okay. So I see where you know obet you penning for a share hornet dear. Yeah, then I say because Sansamui MPP penning for I say National Economic Forum and one bit here won't you? Yet also many honorable Namwali a yardring or say NDPC and I said near my say addition. Oh, yeah.
Okay. About text message. Thank God for helping me to complete my exams from Frank from Dunkwa. Go on and please send my greetings to Nana Kwesi Tucson of Tucson Hotel. I'm Martino Odiom. MPP did a big mistake and lost great opportunity and respect boycotting the National Forum, not political party forum. So sad about the sudden death of Irene Asante of GTV. Yes. May your soul rest in peace. How can MPP get 2 million votes in voter region when voters they are not up to that? Mohammed Abuakwa Anodiria. Why didn't MPP take their notes presented by Dr. Baumia at the Central University to the Economic Forum? And how is MPP going to get these 2 million votes from voter region? And by which transformation Maxwell should forget? Please, Adom, tell Controller and Principal of State Tamale School of Hygiene to stop deducting our salaries. We are with the past students, 2008 to 2000 years group. Government should come to our aid. Adom TV, you did not try at all yesterday. You did not show the Bukom Banku fight at any of your stations. It moves me, Papa. Auntie Juliana Diaba. Cocoa farmers all over Ghana are crying of high price of cocoa fertilizer. I kindly beg the president to reduce it from Asuma Police, Asempana, and the purchase of expensive government vehicles and corruption costs of our economic woes. Kwabnansa and also there. Please kindly treat this issue very seriously. Rubber Outgrowers Association executives are misappropriating funds and as failed farmers who contribute towards the growth of the association. John Mensa Zimamani, we beg teachers to suspend the strike and wait for the outcome of the economic forum. Thank you from Supreme Shai Mensa Bogoso. Kwabna, what amazing is that the contractor has submitted a response to Ghana West Municipal Assembly that the Mayera Adusa Road has been tarred and pictures of sections of the road is now displayed on the Assembly's notice board at Amasaman. Asari, please help us to investigate this. And then strikes do not solve problems but continue to dialogue. Nana Bosu campaign for Jesus Ministries. And I want to remind authorities of the present nature of the Nkoko to a Etibie road. It shouldn't be only Easter time that the roads minister become aware that the road needs some patching. It must be a total rehabilitation and once and for all. Bernard Osafo Accra, please call the leadership of NAT to declare their stand on this strike issue because we, the members of NAT, are joining the strike because the concerns are legitimate. Sir Robert Obankesini. Application forms for admission into teacher training are out, but getting low patronage. Why? Alaji Kum Ewo Yende Deba. Kofi Amponsa, senior teachers must be respected because the president and his ministers are always taking their salaries and allowances. Why not teachers? Kindly ask for us, any MP who comes to your super greatest program, if their HEPIC fund has been paid since 2012. Some of them are owing us. Okay, so.
Say your baby.
I'm the last caller who nearly wept on your show this morning. Yes, in fact, you nearly wept. Yes, yes. You said Jesus. Nobody who ever found number. Call me on, okay, to know how serious the situation is on the grounds for teachers.
Come on, friends, is here.
Arrest of some key leaders who led the fight, but the DC of the area came to the police station and removed them from cells. The other side, whose person died. Okay, I don't get the story properly. But quickly, my member honorable, so now, any honorable we on the 3 points.
I'm saying we are coming down, but just say, set some record street.
Yeah. We are not about the
you see, we are all politicians. The political party be on they always want to thrive on speculation. Speculation of internal wrangling. It is never true. It is never true.
Internal wrangling.
Internal wrangling be any more. Normal political games there no matter whether you are in opposition or you are in government, it will be there. But now, say no see channel. That's not it. Now, MP for one call forum. You say, oh, person will call. You don't have anything to say. Oh, MPP. Oh, Munishika. Oh, Munishika, because they have lost ideas. And a continuity of projects are, you can ask me. In our constitution, we can say, a baby bar, on chair, na you buy no. You discontinue MPP project. We tried as much as possible to finish their project. Intermediate on chair one project.
Housing projects.
One project.
Housing.
Ya abandon no.
And so soon.
On chair one project.
Housing.
We are looking for money to scan in your
looking. What could you scan the Nkrumah Circle? Money. Na me dey make us money. Scan in Nkrumah Circle. What could prayer pe bi?
Nkrumah Circle project.
Oh.
Project.
It's not a priority.
Project.
It's not a priority. First of all,
Madina
is a project.
Madina plan. Hanti. And you know, Cresse, you try our project so. We are continuing the project. Since Kaba, you bet us. I didn't Kaba mill start here, no. President Mama into me and to us. But it's kind of new, no. Kaba. You're to us. What I'm telling you. Public sector reform, no. Ministry, no. And you have a petrol ministry. You say reform. Public sector reform. It's how you reform now. Say, who started not reform? Let's say it was a ministry.
It's a very serious statement now.
Why do you continue to make it a ministry that will be subsidizing some small projects? Yes.
Reforms, no.
Public sector, almost starting reform. Huge. Oh my yama. Yeah.
They actually that reform.
Almost. Public sector reform. For the rest
they've been able to reform the public
sector. For the rest of our life in Ghana, it must be a ministry to be reforming sectors all the time.
And this is very important. And this is a good question to ask.
But it is very important.
Given the source of my comment. The source of my comment is the economic forum.
After doing the reform up to a point, we achieve almost 90% of what we are doing. Must it continue to be a ministry? No. It's a department that is continuing with what is there. Depending on the magnitude of the work.
But
encourage indigenous entrepreneurs. So see, but politics. Political this is a political chase. Political informally they are exported to Nigeria.
It is not based on any help.